What if I told you that the reason many seniors struggle with leg pain is not because of age itself, but because of what they stop doing every day? Imagine this. You see a man of 75 walking with energy, head high, steps strong, and you wonder, why does he look like he's still in his 40s? While others, his age, struggle with every step. The secret is not found in a complicated routine or an expensive treatment. It begins with one simple action, done faithfully, every single day. The truth is, your legs are not betraying you. They are only responding to how you've treated them. The human body was designed to move, stretch, and strengthen itself. Yet when movement becomes rare, the muscles tighten, the joints stiffen, and pain becomes your companion. But the good news is this: the same way your body learned stiffness, it can learn freedom again. Just one daily habit can make the difference between shuffling slowly and striding with confidence. Think about the book Younger. Next year. Its central message is clear. If you keep moving, you keep living. Science agrees. Motion is medicine. You don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights. You just need to give your legs what they crave: steady, daily motion that wakes them up, stretches them out, and keeps the blood flowing. It may be as simple as walking for 10 minutes with intention, or stretching your calves and thighs each morning before the day begins. One small action signals your body, I still need you strong, and the body responds with renewed energy. Too often we wait until pain becomes unbearable before acting. But pain is a teacher, not a sentence. It says, pay attention. Something must change. When you choose to honor your body with daily care, the pain begins to fade, strength returns, and suddenly what felt impossible, walking long distances, climbing stairs, enjoying a stroll with grandchildren, becomes natural again. Ask yourself this: do you want to live the rest of your years sitting down, watching life pass, or do you want to step boldly into them, walking free and pain-free? The decision is not made once a year, it is made once a day. Each morning you choose either stiffness or freedom. The choice lies in your daily action. Remember, consistency is more powerful than intensity. It's not about doing everything at once, but about doing one thing every day. That one thing builds momentum. Momentum becomes strength, and strength becomes freedom. Like a stream carving through rock, your small daily actions create lasting change. And here's the most inspiring truth: it is never too late. Whether you are 60, 70, or beyond, your legs are waiting to be renewed. The body responds to care, no matter your age. With daily faithfulness, you can walk without pain, walk with joy, and yes, walk like you are 30 again. So today, make this decision. Give your legs the gift of movement. One action a day, one choice of freedom. Because the years ahead should not be endured in pain, but enjoyed in strength. Walk boldly into them, Your best steps are still ahead. The body was designed for movement, not stiffness. That is the first truth you must hold on to. Think about the earliest days of your life. When you were a child, you never thought twice about running across the yard, bending to pick up a ball, climbing a tree, or chasing after a friend. Movement came so naturally that it was part of who you were. Your body was not only willing, but eager to move. It was as if it was saying, "This is what I was created for." Over the years, something changed. Not because the body lost its design, but because habits shifted. Work, stress, comfort, and eventually age led many to spend more time sitting than moving. But the human body is not built to be still for long stretches. Just as a river begins to stagnate when the water stops flowing, your muscles and joints begin to lose their vitality when movement is no longer a daily rhythm. Stiffness sets in, and what once felt effortless becomes a struggle. Yet even in that struggle, the design has not disappeared. The blueprint of movement is still inside you. Consider how your heart pumps blood, how your lungs draw in oxygen, how your bones hold you upright. All of it is meant to support a life of activity. Movement is the natural language of the body. When you walk, stretch, bend, or even stand tall, you are speaking to your body in the way it understands best. The circulation improves, the joints loosen, the muscles awaken. Stiffness is not a permanent condition. It is simply the result of silence, of ignoring the body's need for its native tongue. Motion. There's a reason people who keep moving often feel younger than those who give in to stillness. You may have seen someone in their 70s or 80s gardening, hiking, or dancing, and you wonder, how do they do it? The answer is not found in a secret pill or miracle cure. It's in honoring the original design of the body. They keep moving, and because of that, their body keeps responding. The book Spark by John Ratey describes exercise as the miracle drug we've always had but rarely use. Movement heals, strengthens, and even protects the brain. It reminds us that our body was not created to decay quietly. It was created to be used, to stay alive through motion. When you neglect that design, pain grows louder. When you honor it, freedom returns. So, when I say the body was designed for movement, I'm not just talking about physical exercise. I'm talking about reclaiming what has always been yours. The ability to rise, to stretch, to walk without pain, to live with energy. The design hasn't failed you. It's simply waiting for you to activate it again. And once you do, you'll discover that stiffness is not the end of your story. It is only a chapter, one that can be rewritten by choosing to live in alignment with how you were created. Daily habits decide the future of mobility. That statement may sound simple, but it carries the weight of years, even decades, of experience. Every action you take, or fail to take, plants a seed in your body. Over time, those seeds grow into either strength and flexibility or pain and limitation. The choices made daily shape the kind of freedom you'll experience tomorrow. Think about it like this. No one wakes up one morning suddenly unable to bend their knees or climb a set of stairs. That stiffness didn't arrive overnight. It was built gradually through habits of neglect. Long hours sitting without stretching. Days turning into weeks without intentional movement. The comfort of rest slowly replacing the discipline of activity. Each day contributes quietly, almost invisibly, until the moment comes when the legs feel heavy, the joints ache, and walking, even a short distance, becomes difficult. That moment is not a surprise. It's a harvest of the seeds planted daily. But here's the encouraging truth. Just as bad habits lead to decline, good habits lead to renewal. When you choose to stretch your legs each morning, when you decide to walk even for 10 minutes a day, when you bend and move instead of sitting still, you're planting seeds of mobility. Over time, these seeds grow into strength, resilience, and confidence. Small decisions, seemingly insignificant at first, become the foundation of a pain-free future. Imagine two people of the same age. One takes time each morning to move, stretch, and walk. The other prefers to stay seated, avoiding movement, because it feels uncomfortable. Fast forward 5 or 10 years. The first one is still able to carry groceries, play with grandchildren, enjoy long walks, and live independently. The second one finds even standing up from a chair to be a challenge. The difference isn't age, it's habits. Books like Atomic Habits by James Clear remind us that small actions, repeated daily, shape our destiny. The same principle applies to your body. You don't need a gym membership or expensive equipment. You need consistency. A simple routine, faithfully repeated, is far more powerful than bursts of effort, followed by weeks of inactivity. Your future mobility is not waiting in some distant place. It's being built right now in the choices you're making today. Each time you move, you are telling your body, stay strong, stay flexible, stay alive. Each time you neglect movement, you are telling it, slow down, stiffen up, grow weak. The body listens and it responds accordingly. So, the question becomes, what future are you building? Are you creating a life where you'll walk with freedom, or one where every step is a burden? The answer is found not in tomorrow, but in today. Daily habits are small, but they are mighty. They shape the path of your life more than any single grand effort ever could. A single intentional action each day can reverse years of discomfort. That may sound almost unbelievable, but think about the power of one consistent choice. So much of what weighs us down physically doesn't come from one great accident or one sudden failure. It comes from years of neglect, years of small choices that add up. The good news is this: the same way decline happens slowly, renewal can happen slowly, too. And sometimes it takes only one daily action to start turning the tide in your favor. Picture this: a man in his late 60s has lived with constant knee and hip pain. He believes this is just old age and resigns himself to a life of discomfort. Then someone challenges him to take just 10 minutes each morning to walk at a steady pace, to stretch his calves, and to breathe deeply while moving. He does it reluctantly at first, unsure it will make any difference. But after a few weeks, he notices that the stiffness he used to feel getting out of bed begins to ease. After a couple of months, the pain that haunted him daily begins to retreat. What changed? It wasn't a medical breakthrough or an expensive therapy. It was one intentional action, repeated every single day. The human body loves patterns. It adapts to whatever you give it. If you give it stillness, it adapts by stiffening. If you give it motion, it adapts by loosening, strengthening, and healing. One action can reset the body's rhythm. It doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to take an hour. It just needs to be consistent and purposeful. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 2 hours once a month. You brush for 2 minutes every day. That small action prevents years of decay. In the same way, moving your legs, stretching your muscles, or walking daily prevents years of stiffness and pain. The body doesn't require grand gestures. It thrives on steady care. In the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, the author explains how one small habit can create a ripple effect that transforms an entire life. A daily stretch, a morning walk, or a few minutes of strength work can become what he calls a keystone habit. A single practice that reshapes not just your body, but your mindset. Because once you experience a little relief, you begin to believe in the possibility of more. And belief fuels action. What makes this so powerful is that anyone can do it. You don't need to be young, athletic, or free of pain to start. All you need is the willingness to take one step, today and tomorrow, and the courage to trust that small actions matter. Over time, those small actions accumulate. They begin to repair, to restore, to reverse years of discomfort that you thought were permanent. So when you hear me say that one intentional action each day can change everything, I want you to imagine yourself not 5 years from now, not 10, but just 1 week from now. Imagine the difference if for 7 days you chose to move with purpose. How much looser could your legs feel? How much lighter could your steps be? Multiply that by months and years, and suddenly, the thought of walking without pain, walking with freedom, walking like you're 30 again, it's not a dream. It's a decision. The past may have left you with discomfort, but the future is not chained to it. One intentional action a day is enough to break that chain, It is the spark that lights the fire of renewal. And the beauty of it is this: you can begin today. Walking freely is tied to both physical and mental well-being. We often think of walking as something ordinary, something we do without much thought. But when pain enters the picture, and every step feels heavy, we suddenly realize how powerful and precious the ability to walk truly is. Walking is not just about getting from one place to another. It is about freedom, dignity, and joy. When you can walk without pain, the world feels open. When you cannot, life begins to shrink. Walking is deeply connected to the health of the body. Each step activates muscles, strengthens bones, and keeps blood circulating. Doctors call walking the perfect exercise because it is gentle yet effective, simple yet transformative. When you walk, you're not only preserving the strength of your legs, you're nourishing your heart, lungs, and even your brain. Studies consistently show that people who walk daily have sharper memory, stronger balance, and more resilience against illness. The body thrives when it moves this way. But beyond the physical, walking freely also shapes the mind. Think back to times you've gone on a walk when you were burdened or stressed. As your feet moved, your thoughts began to clear, your breathing steadied, and solutions came more easily. Walking has a way of lifting the spirit, of opening mental space, of giving clarity that sitting still rarely provides. The book Walking with Destiny by Andrew Roberts speaks of how great leaders throughout history often walk daily, not only for health, but for focus and clarity of thought. Walking connects movement of the body with peace of the mind. Now imagine the opposite. When walking is painful, life narrows. You begin to avoid outings. You decline invitations. You hesitate to explore. The physical pain becomes a mental prison, slowly convincing you that your world must be smaller. That's why walking without pain is about more than comfort. It's about reclaiming confidence, the ability to say yes to life again, to take part, to move without fear. There's a story of a grandmother who loved taking her grandkids to the park. But for years she stopped going because of her aching knees. One day, after committing to daily stretches and short walks around her home, her pain eased enough for her to try again. The moment she walked hand in hand with her grandchildren on that playground path, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Youthful joy. It wasn't just her knees that had been restored. It was her sense of purpose and happiness. Walking freely is one of the clearest bridges between physical health and emotional well-being. When you reclaim your stride, you reclaim your spirit. The rhythm of your steps becomes a rhythm of life again. And that is why guarding and restoring the ability to walk without pain is not optional. It is essential. It is the gateway to living not only longer, but better, fuller, and freer. Small steps compound into lifelong strength. At first glance, those words may not sound extraordinary, but they carry a truth that can change your entire perspective on aging, pain, and renewal. We often underestimate the power of little things done daily. Yet those small, repeated actions are what shape the future of our bodies and our lives. Think about the way interest works in a savings account. You put in a little money, and over time it grows, not because of one large deposit, but because of small, consistent investments that compound. Your body works the same way. Every small step you take, whether it's a gentle stretch in the morning, a short walk after dinner, or simply standing up from your chair more often, acts like a deposit into your health account. At first, the difference may seem invisible, but give it weeks, months, years, and suddenly those little deposits turn into strength, flexibility, and freedom that others your age may no longer have. We live in a culture that often praises dramatic transformations. The person who runs a marathon after training for months, the one who lifts heavy weights, or the one who changes their body in 90 days. But what about the quiet victories? The senior who chooses to walk around the block every day, instead of sitting in front of the television. The grandmother who stretches her calves before bed each night. The grandfather who bends and rises from his chair 10 extra times each morning. These don't make headlines, but they build something far more valuable than quick results: resilience that lasts. There's a Japanese concept called kaizen, which means continuous improvement through small steps. It teaches us that greatness doesn't come from one giant leap, but from 1,000 little steps forward. In the same way, your body responds to steady, repeated movement. A single walk won't make you feel young again, but walking daily over time can restore energy you thought was gone forever. 10 minutes of stretching won't erase pain immediately, but months of stretching will loosen joints, restore balance, and bring strength that makes you feel alive again. Consider a man in his 70s who started doing 5 squats every morning by his bedside. At first, 5 felt like a challenge, but he stuck with it. Soon, 5 became 10, and 10 became 15. Over the years, those squats protected his knees, strengthened his legs, and gave him the ability to climb stairs when many of his peers relied on elevators. What looked small in the moment became monumental in the long run. The book The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson puts it beautifully. Success is not built in sudden moments, but in small, daily disciplines. The same is true for your body. Strength is not the result of occasional effort, it is the product of consistency. Each step compounds. Each choice builds, and together they create a future that looks brighter and freer than the past. So, don't despise small beginnings. If today you can only walk for 5 minutes, start there. If all you can do is lift your legs while seated, begin there. Small steps are not signs of weakness. They are seeds of strength. And when you plant them faithfully, they grow into something greater than you imagined. One day, you'll look back and realize that your ability to walk without pain, to move without fear, to live with strength, it didn't come from one dramatic moment. It came from the quiet power of small steps, compounded over time, shaping you into someone who can live fully, freely, and joyfully, no matter your age. Pain often comes from neglect, not just age. That truth can be hard to accept, because it's easier to believe that pain is simply the natural price of growing older. But if we're honest, much of the discomfort that settles into our legs, hips, and back doesn't arrive because of the passing years. It arrives because of what we've stopped doing during those years. Age may set the stage, but neglect writes the script. Think about a car left unused in a garage. Even though it is designed to run smoothly, if it sits too long without being driven, the tires go flat, the battery weakens, the parts rust. The problem isn't the car's age. It's the lack of use. Your body works the same way. When you stop moving, when you stop stretching, when you allow long hours of sitting to become your daily pattern, your muscles tighten, your joints lock, and pain begins to whisper, then shout. The pain feels like aging, but really, it is the body's way of saying, "You've neglected me." There's a story of a woman in her 70s who complained of constant stiffness in her legs. She assumed it was just part of aging. But after meeting with a physical therapist, she learned that her pain came not from her years, but from her routine. She sat for long stretches of the day, rarely moved beyond what was necessary, and avoided walking because it hurt. The therapist gave her a simple programs: stand up and stretch every hour, take a short walk daily, and do gentle leg lifts from her chair. Within weeks, the pain began to ease. What she thought was age was really neglect. Once she gave her body the care it had been waiting for, her legs responded with renewed strength. Books like Younger Next Year remind us that biology is not destiny. Yes, the body changes with age, but those changes can be slowed, even reversed, through movement and care. Pain that seems permanent often softens when we honor the body's original design. Neglect brings stiffness, but attention brings renewal. This doesn't mean pain is your fault, but it does mean you have power. If pain can grow from neglect, then healing can grow from attention. Every time you choose to move, to stretch, to strengthen your legs, you are actively writing a new story for your body. Instead of letting neglect shape your future, you begin to take the pen back into your own hands. And here's the hope: the body is incredibly forgiving. It doesn't hold grudges for long years of neglect. The moment you begin to treat it with care, it responds. Muscles strengthen, joints loosen, energy returns. Pain fades not because you turn back the clock, but because you finally chose to honor the body's needs. So the next time you feel pain, don't just chalk it up to age. Ask yourself, have I been neglecting movement? Have I been sitting more than I've been standing? Have I given my body the attention it deserves? Often, the answer explains far more than the number of candles on your last birthday cake. Pain is not always a sign of growing old. It is often a reminder to stop neglecting what keeps you young. And when you answer that reminder with action, you discover that age is not the enemy. Neglect is. Renewal is possible at any stage of life. Those words are a lifeline for anyone who has ever thought, "It's too late for me." Too many people accept decline as their destiny simply because of their age. They believe that once pain has set in, once stiffness has taken hold, there's no way back. But the truth is far brighter. The body has an incredible capacity for renewal. No matter how many years you've lived, science shows that muscles can grow stronger even in people in their 90s. Balance can be restored. Flexibility can return. Energy can rise again. The body never loses its ability to respond to care. It only waits for you to give it what it needs. Think of a dry plant. Left without water for weeks, it begins to droop and wither. But the moment you water it, the life inside responds. Within days, green shoots appear, strength returns, and what looked dead begins to bloom again. That plant didn't lose its life. It only waited for renewal. So it is with your body. Consider the story of an elderly man who had lived with back and leg pain for over a decade. He had nearly given up on walking freely. But when he started a simple daily practice, stretching his legs, standing tall for a few minutes, and walking slowly, he noticed change within weeks. After months of consistency, his pain lessened, his stride improved, and he began walking with his wife in the evenings again. He once thought his best days were behind him. Renewal proved him wrong. Books like The Body Keeps the Score remind us that the body carries memory, but it also carries healing. Renewal does not erase your years, it redeems them. Your scars, your aches, your struggles, they are not the end of the story. They are the soil where new strength can grow. The beauty of renewal is that it does not demand perfection. You don't need to run marathons or do extraordinary things. Renewal asks only for faithfulness. Small, steady choices that bring life back into your legs, your body, and your spirit. The body was designed to heal, to repair, to adapt. And when you give it what it needs, movement, care, attention, it responds no matter your age. So do not say, "It's too late." Do not believe the lie that stiffness is permanent or pain is your fate. As long as you have breath in your lungs and strength enough to rise, renewal is possible. It may be slow, but slow progress is still progress. Every step you take toward movement is a step away from decline. Every stretch is a signal to your body, I still believe in you. And here is the promise. When you commit to renewal, life opens again. The pain that once held you back becomes a memory, not a sentence. The freedom to move, to walk, to enjoy the world, returns. Renewal is not a gift reserved for the young. It is a gift waiting for anyone willing to begin. Consistency matters more than intensity. This truth may be the most important of all. Because too often people believe that change requires something dramatic, something overwhelming, something almost impossible to sustain. They imagine they must commit to hours of exercise, punishing routines, or sudden bursts of effort to see results. But the secret to lasting strength, pain, free living, and renewed mobility is not found in intensity. It's found in consistency. Think of the tortoise and the hare. The hare ran with incredible speed, but burned out. The tortoise moved slowly, but never stopped, and in the end, he won the race. Your body thrives in the same way. It doesn't need you to sprint, to push to extremes, or to do everything at once. What it needs is your faithfulness. A little effort repeated daily. That steady rhythm creates far greater results than occasional bursts of intensity that leave you exhausted or discouraged. Imagine someone who decides to walk for an hour one day and then does nothing for the next 2 weeks. Contrast that with someone who walks for just 10 minutes every day. At the end of the month, who do you think is stronger, looser, and more mobile? The one who chose consistency. Because what you do regularly shapes your body far more than what you do occasionally. There's a story of a man who joined a gym at the age of 65. On his first day, he was tempted to push himself hard, to prove he could still do what he once did. But his trainer stopped him and said, "Don't show me what you can do today. Show me what you'll still be doing 6 months from now." That advice changed his life. He started small, with short sessions and light movements, but he came back every week. 6 months later, he was stronger, leaner, and freer from pain than he had been in years. His success didn't come from intensity. It came from showing up. Books like Atomic Habits by James Clear explain this beautifully. The power of transformation is hidden in small, repeated actions. The goal isn't to overwhelm yourself. It's to build a lifestyle you can maintain. The body doesn't remember how hard you worked one day. It remembers what you did every day. Consistency builds trust between you and your body. When you move daily, even just a little, your body learns to expect care. Muscles stay engaged, joints stay loose, circulation stays strong. When you skip for long stretches and then overdo it, your body feels confused, even punished. That's when injury happens and discouragement follows. So if you want to walk without pain, if you want to feel 30 again in your stride, don't think in terms of intensity. Think in terms of faithfulness. A 5-minute stretch every morning. A short walk each evening. Gentle movements throughout the day. These may feel small in the moment, but together they create a lifetime of freedom. Consistency also does something deeper. It builds confidence. Each day you keep your promise to yourself. You prove that you are capable of change. You don't need to rely on willpower for a massive effort. You simply keep showing up. And over time, those small victories pile up into transformation. So remember this: your body doesn't need you to conquer mountains in a day. It needs you to take steady steps every day. Intensity may impress, but consistency transforms. And it is consistency that will give you the strength, the freedom, and the joy of walking like you are 30 again. Living without leg pain restores freedom and confidence. This is not just about comfort. It's about reclaiming the life that pain has been slowly stealing away from you. When every step hurts, you begin to shrink your world without even realizing it. You say no to long walks. You avoid outings. You hesitate to visit family. And sometimes you even lose the joy of simple moments like strolling through a park or climbing the stairs without fear. Pain chains your body, but it also chains your spirit. And when that pain begins to lift, when your legs respond to care, something more powerful than relief happens. You rediscover freedom. Think of freedom as the ability to say yes again. Yes to walking with your grandchildren. Yes to going to the market without worry. Yes to enjoying the fresh air, the open road, the places you've long avoided because of discomfort. When you move without pain, the world feels larger. You are no longer calculating how far you can walk before you must sit down. You are no longer ruled by the fear of sharp aches or stiff joints. Instead, you walk with confidence, knowing your body can carry you where you want to go. Confidence is tied deeply to movement. People who walk freely carry themselves differently. Their posture improves, their head lifts, their eyes brighten. They no longer shuffle or hesitate. They stride. And that stride sends a message, not just to the world, but to their own hearts. I am capable. I am strong. I am alive. Walking without pain restores that inner dignity, that assurance that age does not define you, and that your best days of living with strength are not behind you, but still unfolding before you. There's a story of an elderly woman who, after years of knee pain, started a daily routine of stretching and walking. At first, she moved slowly, cautiously. But as the weeks turned into months, the pain eased. One day, her daughter invited her to join a family trip to the zoo. For the first time in years, she said yes. She walked the grounds all day, laughing with her grandchildren, standing tall in every family photo. Later she said, It wasn't just my knees that healed. My confidence came back. I felt like myself again. That is the power of freedom. Books like Aging Well, by George Vaillant, remind us that the quality of life in later years is not measured only by health markers, but by the freedom to participate fully in life. To walk without pain is to step back into that full participation. It's not only about muscles and joints. It's about joy, purpose, and connection. So understand this. Every step you take to reduce pain, every daily action you commit to, is not just about mobility. It's about reclaiming your freedom and your confidence. It's about rewriting the story of your later years from one of limitation to one of possibility. When you can walk freely, you don't just move better. You live better. You stand taller. You say yes more often. You smile more deeply. That's the promise waiting for you. A life not ruled by pain, but restored by freedom. And that freedom will make you feel, in body and spirit, like you are 30 again.